Hello dear students, today we are going to talk about anthropogenic factors and hydrosphere. We are going to discuss following questions: general information about the Earth's hydrosphere, surface water pollution, and main water pollutants. Hydrosphere, the water shell of the Earth. It combines surface water and groundwater. Seas and oceans cover almost 71% of the Earth's surface, and taking into account the area of glaciers, swamps, lakes, and reservoirs, almost 75% of its surface is in the hydrosphere. The resource functions of the hydrosphere are subdivided into mineral resources, biological, and energy resources. The area of the birth of weather and extreme events is determined by the sequential composition of functions, the mutual transfer of energy and matter with the atmosphere and lithosphere, the formation of weather conditions, cyclones of extreme events, wave, storms, tsunamis. The geological function of the hydrosphere are expressed by the processes of abrasion and transfer of matter, as well as accumulation, mechanical, biogenic, and chemical. The anthropospheric functions of the hydrosphere are determined by the following compositions: the conditions of human existence, biomineral, recreational, transport, and the factor of aesthetic and emotional impact. Natural waters are characterized by a significant diversity in composition and concentration of chemical elements, and play a certain role in geological, geochemical, and biological processes. Dissolved gases such as oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen sulfide are present in seawater. With depth, water exchange becomes more difficult, and hydrogen sulfide accumulates in depressions. For example, Norwegian fjords, Black Sea, and others. The average temperature of the world ocean is 3.8 degrees Celsius. The maximum temperature of 33 degrees Celsius is established in the Persian Gulf, and the minimum 1.6% degrees Celsius is typical for the waters of the Arctic Ocean, polar regions. The mineral resources of the world ocean are oil and gas, which are confined to waste shelves and continental slopes. On the territory of the Republic of Kazakhstan, there are thousands of industrial enterprises which sufficiently develop and diverse production technologies, which are the main sources of environmental pollution. They are the so-called stationary sources of technogenesis. Along with them, a significant share in environmental pollution is the road transport complex, in which emissions from mobile and stationary sources account for more than 60% of the total volume of all emissions. Sources enterprises of the metallurgical complex, electric power industry, fuel, chemical and defense industries have a significant impact on environmental pollution. Sources of technogenesis in the electric power industry are produced by burning or processing organic raw materials, coal, oil, gas, nuclear fuel, peat, as well as by using the energy of rivers and reservoirs. The sources of technogenesis of metallurgy are divided into sources of ferrous and non-ferrous metallurgy. The centers of ferrous and non-ferrous metallurgy are located in the cities of Temirtau, Jezqazgan, Uсть-Kamenogorsk, Shymkent, and many ore-dressing plants. The sources of technogenesis in the oil extracting industry are the drilling departments that conduct exploration and production, drilling the fields that supply oil, gas, condensate to consumers. Transport is a modern source of pollutants. More than 40% of the volume of air pollutants falls on motor vehicles. The transport network, road, rail, river, air, and sea, is a link between the sources of man-made substances, industrial enterprises, cities, agglomerations. Transport networks pollute the environment by enterprises operating roads networks, the vehicles themselves, due to emissions of waste hydrocarbon raw materials, automobile, river, sea, air transport. In recent years, to the listed types of transport that pollute the environment, a new type of source of man-made substances has been added: rocket and space transport, the main part of which is generated during takeoff. A significant part of bulk and liquid material, up to 15%, is dispersed in the environment during the transportation of goods. At the end, it should be noted that the transport network acts as a source of environmental pollution from local to regional levels, and the mass of pollution in the environment is determined by the density of transport networks and the intensity of freight traffic.